Russell Brand. What do we think about Russell Brand? Let's go over some of the news, so to speak, and we'll have a little bit of a retrospective. I think we'll have a gander at what's going on. Okay, what we got? Russell Brand allegations show how terrible behaviour towards women was tolerated in the TV, says Channel 4 boss. All of a sudden, even that one single paragraph is slightly suspect. Because first off, it's allegations, right? This is stories. No one's come forward with a name. It's all just stories from anonymous people. So allegations, right? I could allege that my next door neighbour killed 10 million people and some genocide using chemical weapons, and that would be horrendous, but you'd have to prove that it actually happened. And hypothetically it's horrendous. I mean, treating women badly in the hypothetical is horrendous, but allegations are exactly that. They're allegations, and you can allege anything about anyone, and it doesn't need to have even a shred of truth. So Alex Mahone, Chief Executive of Channel 4, made the comments after claims of sexual abuse were made against Russell Brand. See, they're very careful with their language. Claims, alleged, they never say anything definitive, which is telling. He denies the allegations. Sometimes I wonder, so why don't they just ignore the allegations? Why deny? Because somebody comes up and says, hey, you ran down a kid in a car and you don't own a car or whatever. Well, I'm not going to deny the allegations. It's absurd. It's not up to me to deny an allegation. It's up to you to prove it, that it happened. BBC's Director General Tim Davie also addressed the claims, with both speaking at the RTS Cambridge Convention, whatever the F that is. Oh, very serious looking woman now. Channel 4's Chief Executive has described the allegations made against Russell Brand as horrendous. Yeah, they are horrendous, but it doesn't mean they're true. And said, it is clear that terrible behaviour towards women was historically tolerated in the TV industry. How is it clear? It hasn't been proven. It's only been alleged. Alex Mahone made the comments about Brand as she addressed the Royal Television Society's Cambridge Convention on Modern Viewing Habits, and the abundance of content scheduled before the allegations of sexual assault emerged at the weekend. Some of the claims date back to when the comedian was presenting the Big Brother spin-off programme Big Brother's Big Mouth on Channel 4. Brand, 48, denies any allegations made against him. Mahone told the audience at the convention that the alleged behaviour made public in a joint investigation by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches needs to be looked into further. Okay. She urged people with any information to get in touch anonymously if they want to. So what kind of message is that to put out? If you have any information, get in touch anonymously. Anyone could phone up Channel 4, BBC and say, Russell Brand molested my dog. I'm not giving you my name though. If it's anonymous, it's worthless. That should be point one. That should be obvious. They're not empty words or gestures, she said, adding that the broadcaster will look to find out who knew about any alleged inappropriate behaviour during Brand's time on the show. But what is clear to me is that terrible behaviour towards women was historically tolerated in our industry. And the clips we've seen as well provide a rather shocking jolt when one realises what appeared on air not that long ago, she said. It's a lot of these woke people, right? They seem to judge their absurd standards that they have in 2023. They want to backdate them, right? They want to go 20 years back into the past, or 10 years, whatever, 15 years. It's always a long time ago in the past, isn't it? It's never like last month, last year. It's always 15 years ago. And they want to backdate their current cultist behaviour, which is what it is. the people who say that there are 10,000 genders and all that stuff, it's basically, what it is it's no different from a cult. They have a doctrine of absurd beliefs, which it could be construed as a dogma, and they exclude anyone who's doesn't sign on fully to their dogma. So I mean, it is by definition it's a cult. But if you're not part of that cult, and you weren't part of the cult in the past before the cult existed, they can backdate the wokeness. You weren't woke enough 15 years ago before anyone knew what woke was. That's the thing. The behaviour is less prevalent now. But the thing is, you haven't established exactly what behaviour was that was problematic. It's a word they love to use, and you haven't. Neither have you established why it's less prevalent now. Like what, based on what data are you making either of those assertions? None. Something we must all confront. There is still more change that needs to come. There's always more change that needs to come. The question should be, did it happen or did it not happen? If it's, it's like basic common sense and logic are not. This is just a propaganda. Like this, I don't know about Russell Brand, right? He might be the most horrible person in the world. He might have raped 10,000 women. I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. But I mean, this reads like a propaganda piece. So that does not fill me with much conviction that the events being described or alleged are anything more than propaganda. But the allegations made against Russell Brand are horrendous, and as CEO of Channel 4 and as a woman in our industry. What does that mean? Maybe I'm missing some context here. She added, the allegations made against Russell Brand are horrendous, and as a CEO of Channel 4, I'm missing that bit. And as a CEO of Channel 4 and as a woman in our industry, my sentence doesn't make sense. I found the behaviour described in the dispatches in the Sunday Times and the Times articles disgusting and saddening. It's getting back to the original point. People can allege anything, but you have to establish if it's true or not. This is fundamental, and it should go no further, and this lady should not comment beyond that. Say something along the lines of, these allegations are shocking. We don't know if they're true. Let's wait and see if anyone comes forward. Because I mean, you can't. But you can assume this guy's guilty. Does he not get a day in court? Does he not get the opportunity to demonstrate his innocence? Should you not be presumed innocent until he has had his day in court? That used to be how the world worked. The allegations, of course, need to be followed up further, and we in the BBC and Banerjee, a production company, are busy investigating. Right? Not the police, the BBC. BBC General Director Tim Davie, who was also speaking at the event, said there needed to be an important dialogue around the deep imbalances of power within the television industry. I think there's a deep responsibility for the leaders. The culture needs to be one of trust, he added. Rampant paranoia, more like. There has been deep problems with misogyny, abuse of power, and we just have to be utterly vigilant but unaccepting of it. Demonstrate it. Demonstrate the existence of this misogyny. Prove these allegations are true. Otherwise, you're going to try and address something that's not true. Well, we're going to make all these changes, and probably that's exactly what they will do. We're going to make all these changes to our policies and probably the law based on something that hasn't been proven to be true and could just be made up. It is a big coincidence that all of these influencers are being alleged with more or less the same thing. You know, like somebody like Russell Brand, who's I'm sure has plenty of consensual access to females. Is he going to be going around raping women I don't know, but I mean, would he need to? Would it make sense for someone in his position to take on that level of risk, to get something which he could easily get consensually? I don't know. Culture Secretary Lucy Fraser, sounds like Ministry of Truth or something, doesn't it? Urged industry leaders to lead change if change is needed. It's just doublespeak, it's just nonsense. Describing the claims made about Brand as deeply shocking, she said organisations involved in his employment in the past should conduct transparent investigations into whether complaints were made or concerns were raised and what action, if any, was taken. Okay. She said in the wider TV industry, everyone should feel able to speak up and leaders should never turn a blind eye. It's just woke, gobbledygook, doublespeak. I would urge all of you as leaders in your industry to look hard at the cultures and process. Blah, 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 read it already. 4 women made sexual abuse allegations against the Star between 2006 and 2013 as part of the investigation by the Sunday Times and Dispatches. That's weird, isn't it? Like, these women, 2013 is 10 years ago. So the Sunday Times began an investigation. Why did they begin an investigation? Did you just... Is it normal to start investigating people who have no allegations against them and have no criminal record in the past? Is that normal? Maybe it is. And then they managed to produce not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 people, anonymous. Not one of them is being named, and they've come forward with allegations anonymously. See, on the face of it, it sounds worthless. It sounds like nonsense. But who knows? Brand, who denies allegations. Yeah, we understand that he denies allegations, and we understand that the allegations are shocking. Those are two things that this is something you need to spot about propaganda as well. They'll try and hammer these. They'll repeat things over and over and over till they'll hammer it into your head like a sledgehammer. They're trying to make the message simple, and the two things they want you to take away from this is Brand denies it, and the allegations are shocking because they keep saying it over and over. The Metropolitan Police said it received an allegation of sexual assault against Russell Brand dating back to 2003, 20 years ago, following the publication of the claims. On Tuesday, Mr Davey announced a review into Brand's time at the corporation. The announcement came hours... These are the same people who enabled Mr J Savile for 5 decades. What kind of impartial investigation are they going to be able to come up with? The announcement came hours after the broadcaster removed some of its content featuring Brand from iPlayer and BBC Sounds. Why? Does someone making an allegation against you automatically mean that your content should be pulled and dropped? How does that work? Does it not have to be true? And this is the world we're moving into, and this is men have to be increasingly careful in how they interact, particularly men, successful guys operating on this strata. They have to be very careful about how they conduct themselves and make sure that they are completely above board, because the culture now is guilty until proven innocent. Even after you're proven innocent, you are tarred and feathered. So I mean, it's basically the allegation is the trial and the conviction. He's already been found guilty by these people, so they've booted his content off of BBC or whatever. Like, he'd probably have his YouTube channel pulled and all that stuff without any evidence presented to support these allegations, which is probably illegal and it's certainly immoral. The Google-owned company said, here we go. Channel 4 took down content featuring the comedian from its streaming service, and YouTube also suspended adverts and videos by brands. So they've gone after him and his income based on anonymous allegations. This is the world in 2023, and it can happen to you. The Google-owned company said it suspended the monetization of Brand's channel for violating our creator responsibility policy. No. Allegations that the creator responsibility policy was violated. There's no... I'm saying this till I'm blue in the face. Mr. Pina continued, we don't tolerate harmful content inside the platform. Right now, from what we know, we don't have harmful content by Russell Brand at YouTube. So they're admitting that they don't know, but they're pulling his content anyway. It's just more new age doublespeak. He added, if we find out over the next days, hours, weeks that there is more reason to take action, we will. We will. Brand found fame in the early 2000s in the stand-up circuit and as a TV host before starring in Hollywood films such as Forgetting Sarah Marshall and presenting a show on BBC Radio 2. I never liked him. I just thought he was a bit kind of smug. Like I've been warming to him lately, I have to say. I never liked him when he first came on the scene about 15-20 years ago. He seemed quite full of himself. But I have actually kind of warmed to him, but I do have my reservations about him. However, in recent years, he has switched to wellness coaching and producing regular YouTube videos, from which he has fought to derive much of his income. So yeah, they're going after his income. Brand maintains a presence on Rumble, a video site popular with some conservatives and far-right groups, where his channel has 1.4 million followers, and X, formerly known as Twitter, where he has more than 11 million followers. He has not posted on either since his video denial on Friday. Pretty depressing. It comes as a TV executive who worked at a company that hired Brand described the allegations against the star as depressing. Phil Edgar Jones was creative director of Remarkable Pictures, part of Endemol UK, and blah 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 blah. I don't want to read any more on this, man, because it's just annoying. But first of all, right, based on what has been presented, it looks like a propaganda hit piece. They're certainly using propaganda to try and hammer home certain messages, which makes the main message in and of itself suspect. Another thing that I think is worth considering is the fact that I consider Russell Brand to be like a guardrail type of guy, right? Because I mean, the control system that we live in, likes to have a dichotomy of positions, a Hegelian dialectic. So it gives you the option on one side, which is the leftist wokies, like you can 15,000 genders, all that stuff, and then they give you an alternative. And the alternative is an unsatisfactory alternative because it doesn't address the core of the problem. And the term would be controlled opposition. And I think this is, it's Communist Party doctrine from the early 20th century, where I can't remember if it was Stalin or Lenin, I think it was Lenin. The best way to control the opposition is to lead it. And that's what they do, they provide options. So I'm not entirely, for me it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Brand himself is complicit in this whole narrative, and it's a psychological operation. I wouldn't rule that out. I think that's a distinct possibility. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. We'll find out, I guess. So I don't read too much into this. On the face of it, it looks like an inflammatory propaganda piece, propaganda psyop, designed to stir up the woke characters on the left and also the based characters on the right, and have them have a divide and conquer type conflict. But we'll see how it all pans out. On the face of it, though, it looks as if conservatives or conservatives, it's the wrong word. It's anybody who's not far to the left and Chairman Mao is potentially a target to have allegations made against them and then lose their livelihood, their career and their reputation based on anonymous allegations, which sounds like a fairly dystopian future, particularly if you're a young man, but we'll see how it goes. Peace out, and do the subscribe thing, man.